Hey, and welcome back. We are here making another doll today. This time, this doll is being based off of a character I made in a video game, and that video game was Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to keep this really short, try to keep the intro as short as possible, but I am going to explain how this character became to be and why I chose her to make the doll. Most likely, it wasn't my choice, it was your guys' choice to make into a doll. And yeah, this character is a tiefling, and her name is Rivari. She is my first character I've ever made in the Baldur's Gate series, my first playthrough too, and I just really enjoyed the game so far. When I do get a chance to play and able to have my downtime and play, I really enjoyed the game. I love the characters in it, and I just think it's a beautiful game that has some moments where I'm just staring like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous, and things like that. But if you didn't know, back in November or December of 2025, I don't remember exactly, but I knew it was near the end of that year, I put up a vote of what game would you like me to see me make my character from, and those two options was Baldur's Gate 3, more the fantasy wholesome setting basically, and then I chose the Outlast Trials, which is more the horror type thing there, and you guys voted for Baldur's Gate. And then after that, I chose two of my characters I've made. I had my personal playthrough, which is Rivari, and then my Twitch game playthrough, which is another tiefling, and I'm drawing a blank on her name, which I will put her image and her name somewhere in this video so you can see what she looked like and what could have been the doll choice also. And with that, Rivari ended up winning, and I can say in ways I'm kind of glad she did, because I just really enjoyed making this doll and having that challenge, having to base a image from a video game into a clay form basically, and taking my own style and my own twist onto it, and hopefully people still see, oh yeah, I know who that is, oh yeah, I see the similarities. So that's what I really were going for and hoping for still. But in general, I really love how that doll turned out, and I love the challenge, and you're going to hear me say that throughout the video a little bit too. But with that being said, we're going to get rolling right into the video, and I'll talk to you guys throughout. I hope you enjoy. Before we move on to sculpting, I figured I can show off Rivari a little bit and what she is like in-game. As you can see here, she's a miscellaneous tiefling, a part of the Druid class in Circle of Land. Also, you can see her resistance and notable features, and part of that notable features is Valo's eye. Yeah. So another thing, I just want to talk about this character a little bit more and show off her in-game features and such. And here I'll put in my thoughts. I usually do that more at the end, but I figured I would put it right here as well. But yeah, I think she was a great doll to work with, most definitely more of a challenge in some aspects, but I think she was just a fun project to work in general, and most definitely gave me a challenge to make sure I was working with something where I have to reference a photo, such like here in the game and such. And I can't say how many times I've had to log back into this game to get a lot of reference photos of her, because there's just so much detail on her, and I just wanted to make sure I could show off every little aspect and such. And unfortunately you can't see it though, but I did do some minor sculpting on her chest part and such to resemble the markings that tieflings had. So yeah, I just wanted to give in that little info, and with that being said, let's move on to sculpting. as usual, we'll start off with the nose. I took quite a bit of time playing with her nose a little bit. I had to thicken it up in some areas and change it throughout making the doll, but I was just trying to make sure it stayed as close or as accurate as it is in game. So there was a lot of going back and forth, making sure a lot of details looked like her from the game and so on and so forth. So I think, as I said before, this is like the most accurate and making sure it looks as similar to her in game. So yeah. After getting her nose on, I move on to the lips. Once again, just make sure they look that similar as hers in game. They're a little bit different, but I think they were pretty close. I actually played with the lips quite a bit here, but yeah.
Searching for miracles ain't easy. Oh baby, can't you tell I'm what you need? I'll give you love, I'll give you everything. Oh baby, you better.
We move on getting her eyes in, and let me tell you how long it was trying to find eyes that match what had in game. It took me months to find these type of eyes, but I eventually found them out of sheer luck. But yeah, I think they were pretty accurate, maybe a little bit different, but pretty damn accurate, if I could say myself. So yeah, I can't tell you how long it was for me to find those eyes, and I even went to the point to actually having to make them, but hey, out of luck I found them. As I'm letting her face bake, I move on to the chest. I try to make sure it was more of a stronger build type look, because I did use more of the stronger build in game. I feel like I could have made the chest a little bit bigger, but with the clothing and the little items I put on her, I feel like that kind of balanced everything out. And also, when sculpting the arms too, it kind of helped balance a little bit of that out. After getting the head bake and removing the tinfoil, we add her eyes. I try to keep her eyelids that's similar to hers in game also, but I think they're kind of my own way, which is fine. It's kind of my own take on my own character in the game. But yeah, also this is where I added some of that scarring and stuff too. And also, before I forget, off camera, I reshaped her face a little bit more, so I shaped it and tried to match as close as possible. But yeah, so there's a lot of differences I did off camera. I fixed her chin a little bit, and I added more clay on the top of her head, which really helped pull that character more together. So yeah. As we move on, I get working on her hands. I already pre-sculpted her shoes a little bit just to help speed up this process for me a little bit more. But yeah, just working on her hands. Typically the same way I usually do it. One thing I had to make sure I made them a little bit more bulky looking, since as I said she is more that stronger type, so I figured her hands should look a little bit stronger and such. And I did not stream this or get this on camera, but doing her fingernail parts was probably one of the funnest experiences I had making hands. It's one of those weird things, but I had a lot of fun getting those hands shaped, and I feel like they closely resembled in game. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool, and I had fun making her hands this time around. Nothing too much to say here on her boots, just keeping them very simple and nothing too crazy. Basically, I do kind of wish I would have went out a little bit more on her shoes, but I was so satisfied with them and just didn't want to take too much time working on shoes when I had to work on a few other things like her body and such. As we move on working on her arms and legs, I start off with her shoulders and such. This is right here just explaining that I use a Dremel to sand down some areas, make it easier for that string to pass through. And you can also see here too where I added the little extra detail on her chest to match more of the tiefling look that they have in game. And there's also a small part that I added on the back of her neck too. But yeah, just getting the arms and legs done, and just a lot of explaining of me doing here and making sure everything sits properly.
See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love, but we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? The DJ keep playing the music, she throwing it back, she too thick. The way she moves, she ruthless, she straight to the point like a toothpick. She asked me to take us a photo, only if I can take you to Ruth Chris. She laughed and said, that's funny though, we got a deal if you bring the music. We put our cups in the air like we don't care, like we in the 90s. Stars in the sky, I'm feeling so high, the lights on the screen are just blinding. I don't even care, caressing your hair, enjoying the night cause we vibing. Not worried about tomorrow at all, cause we gonna party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my...
Right here, I wanted to show off how I did her horns because I never showed this off. For a week, I was trying to figure out how to do her horns. They were this twisted look to them. I can't think of the name. I'll put it on screen when I find it. But I was trying to twist them like this. And I was sitting there for the longest time trying to figure out how to do this. And it dawned on me when I was looking at example photos that they were flattened. So I did what I did the first time around, and I just squished it down a little bit, made sure everything looked right, squished it, and then I go ahead and twist it, and I got the exact shape I wanted. Of course here I'm just showing what I did, but I shaped them a little bit more, made them look a lot nicer. So yeah, I can say it took a embarrassing amount of time trying to figure that out, and I felt a little dumb at it. So yeah, at least I figured it out though. So here we are moving on to painting. So I started off on her horns first. I figured they were easier to paint, and then when I did her skin tone, paint over it to hide any like paint that shouldn't be anywhere. I tried to match this as close as possible to in-game. I feel like I could have done better, but yeah. So while her horns dried, I moved on painting her tail. I just sewed it on some white fabric and painted. Now I did something different in sewing process, so this does not look exactly like her tail in game or what I did here originally. I just added my own type of flair here, so yeah. So right here, I did make her skin tone a little too dark. I'm glad that I actually went back in the game to look at what type of skin tone I picked, because in game it looks like this really pale bluish purple look to it, and I realized it was more of a gray with a purple tone to it. So there was a lot of adjustments here, but I think it kind of worked out in the way that having that darker tone down first and then put on a lighter tone, I almost brought more life to her without making her look too sickly or anything. But happy accidents, I guess. So right here, took a little bit of her skin tone and mixed it in with a little bit of a pink or red. I can't remember exactly, but I believe it was pink. And did her lip tone. She doesn't wear too much makeup in the game. I really didn't put too much makeup on her besides around her eyes a little bit. But yeah, just basically a plain look to her besides around her eyes. And here I am dabbing that around her eyes. Can say that's one of the most nerve-wracking parts that I did. But yeah. If we want to talk about anything I was the most nervous about doing was her face tattoo. I was so worried this was going to ruin the doll, and especially it being black and how hard black can be to take off of something lighter. So I decided to start off on her chest first, just to get used to it and get in the motions of it. And I can say I loved how it turned out. I was so happy I decided to take that challenge and such. Now it is severely modified than it is in game. I couldn't add a whole bunch of the swirls and such as I would like, but I think it gets the gist across, and I think was one of the coolest parts about her was just getting that tattoo on. It was so cool.
I was standing, staying still, never said what I feel. And every time I took the blame, carried all this quiet shame. Cause all the pressure in my chest, I've gotta fight to catch my breath. When every step still feels the same, trying not to break. Where do I go from here?
Now we're moving on and making her outfit. Now, this is not what she has in game. As you saw at the start, I decided to take my own twist on this since out of time restraints, and also I was in school at the time, so I couldn't do all this really cool detail on her outfit. Also, I never worked with making something look armor-like or chainmail-like, and I didn't think it was a good time trying to figure that out, so went a very simple route. And to match her character a little bit more, since she is a druid and having that nature vibe to her, I decided to stick with a lot of browns and greens and such, and of course leather. There's quite a bit of leather on her to match her character very well. But right here I'm working on the kind of the skirt part, best way to put it. I'm not sure what they're exactly called, but more of a skirt part to it. So, and yeah.
Where do I go from here? There will be no more tears. Kill the doubt, feed the fire, hear the voice inside. Warrior,
as I get her shirt on, if you probably notice a little bit on the skirt type part, you can see a lot of the threading and such, and I usually would be very picky about that being shown, but to give off more of the fact she had to modify her outfit quite a bit or having to fix some stuff, I left a lot of those stitches shown, and I think it gives off more of this handmade medieval look to it, basically. So I'm actually very happy leaving that in and not trying to hide it. But after all, I'm very happy on how she turned out, taking my own creative liberty here. And yeah, there's not too much here to say besides I'm very happy I get to do her and was a awesome challenge to complete. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope everybody has a wonderful morning, evening, and night.